Hey,
Go ahead.
it's Todd Ault. It's April 6th. I'm in Costa Rica. Just spent a day fishing. Actually watched my son and daughter. My daughter caught this giant sailfish. My son caught a sailfish and two tuna fish. Is that not a bloody sport, catching tuna fish, or what? It's April 7th. It's the 46th episode of Risk On. And there's always risk. We were on a boat today, out about 30 miles off the coast of Costa Rica, not available. And POWW went to 777 or 773. Regardless, that's about, those of you who watch the show know we've got 800,000 shares. That's about a $400,000 difference by the time I got back. But still a big winner, Jason. How are you doing in Vegas?
Doing great. I was doing my best. In fact, I was trying to send text, SOS, signal, anything I could to get a hold of you. I was just when it went above 750, I was texting back and forth with Skyla. I got Roland's number. I said, "Wow, look at this thing going nuts. The volume's coming in." I said, "Could it possibly be that some news was leaked?" But it wasn't the case. It was just a strong buying day for POW.
Wow, no leaked news, huh?
Nothing that I see at all. No.
Got it.
I mean, we could find out something different tomorrow, but
yeah, maybe that gunbroker.com news is coming.
Anyway, it looked really good. They were talking about Biden talking tomorrow about some possible executive orders with gun control. The only thing I found that he could possibly take executive action on was ghost guns, which doesn't really do anything. It's ghost guns are basically guns that are not fully finished. They're often assembled via parts in a custom fashion. He could announce that the people that want to buy parts to assemble guns could require background checks. That's basically all I see is what he's going to approach. He's more concerned with the infrastructure bill.
Jason, the question is, have you ever been deep sea fishing?
I have not been deep sea fishing.
Well, I'll tell you, catching a sailfish and releasing them is fine. Catching tuna fish and gaffing them and bringing these big, like, these tuna fish are hard fishes. They're like a solid piece of muscle. That's an amazing thing. How about you, Josh? Ever been deep sea fishing?
I haven't. No.
Well, I recommend it to everybody. It was really a good time. Every single my daughter, my son were here. My two youngest, the twins. My sister-in-law, my wife. All of us caught a sailfish, which is like a kind of like a marlin, but not a marlin.
So
and you don't eat sailfish. You throw them back.
What kind of weight are we talking?
I think they're probably between 50 and 100 pounds.
Wow. And what about for
the one that my daughter caught was over 6 feet long, or maybe 5.5. It was huge.
What about
the tuna? The tuna my son caught had to be 50 pounds.
Man.
So amazing. Of course, I'm telling a big fish story. It could be smaller, but right.
I mean,
the fish was this big. It was over here. Can you see how big it was? Anyways, that's my big fish story. Jason, let's cover the markets real quick. We got about 2 minutes left to cover what happened in the markets. It looks like we had a record close today.
It was actually kind of a boring day. There was not much going on. The Dow was only up 16 points, 33,446. The NASDAQ was down 9, 13,688. S&P 4,079. That looks like a new record. Bitcoin, go ahead.
Like I say, it looked like Bitcoin pulled back to me.
Yeah, 56.4 at this time, and Ethereum's right at 2,000. Oil was 59.70, down up 37 cents. Gold 17.37, down 6. Silver 25.19, down 4 cents. Copper $4.06, down 5 cents. Not much going on there. What do you want to talk about first? I mean, we covered POW.
Well, we got hit a little bit for 10% in CleanSpark. That was down, and then Mosey was down. QS, QuantumScape was down. But for the most part, it seems like a relatively flat day. The big winner for us continues to be POWW, continues to be a strong. I mean, the stock looks great after doing that big offering. How many weeks ago was that big offering?
It was probably, let's see. Yeah, I would say 2.5 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it had to be longer than that, but whatever. The stock obviously hit a high of 773
Yep.
and a low of 655. So it's looking great. Its market cap is 595 million, and we are still long a ton of it. What did you think of the volume today? It looked like the volume was a little bit above normal. I don't know. What do you think?
Big volume, over 2x volume. Yeah, okay, buyers came in today. It was big.
Yeah, two extra volume for sure.
Yep. So that was good. Over 225% volume. We want to mention another trade that we made late into the evening or in the early morning. Nick, SOS on my screen here. This one.
Yeah,
right.
let me cover something for the audience, and that is, obviously, I run the portfolio, and Jason's an analyst there, and he comes up with names, and SOS is definitely a Jason name. We put on 50,000 after the pricing. If you guys recall, they did a pricing at $5. I think how much did they raise, Jason? Do you remember? It's over 100 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's 125 million, I believe.
Right, and then we did a pricing. We looked at it, and they were trading below the offering, and I think we bought it at 483, added a little bit on the way down, and then last night Jason calls me after the market and says it's ripping. Jason, why don't you cover why it was ripping?
There was some talk, a lot of chatter on all the Discord channels, Wall Street Bets. Apparently, there was a lot of people that were looking at the short interest, determining that it was an underpriced stock, and that with the short interest and the amount of short percentage into the stock, that they could possibly squeeze this stock. And that's exactly what happened. Massive volume came in, and the price actually moved tremendously after hours. It was up 40% after hours.
Right. And Jason, as you know, what did I do? I took it off.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think we
sold that position up a little bit more than $62,000. Jason, where did it close today?
It closed at 578. It's 558 in the after hours. It actually was pretty high pre-market, like 650-ish. I do recall seeing. So yeah, we 649. We did pretty well with this trade. I liked it.
Yeah, I looked at that $50,000 gift yesterday, and I started selling it above 6.
Yep, and the volume enabled you to fully escape that with a nice profit. That was well done.
So what do you think of the sell-off, continual sell-off? Is your argument with GameStop that it's holding up, or that it closed near the low of the day? Which one is it?
I didn't even look at GameStop today. Let's take a look at it, actually. Let me pull that up. I didn't even take
For full disclosure, of course, we've been talking about on the show, we are short the options. We wrote some uncovered calls and got some premium for those GameStoppers.
Here we go. We got the one.
We have the
Yeah.
We have the 215 calls that expire on the 16th.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, my take on this is the ATM is fully running. The dollars are being harvested by the executives at GameStop, and we could figure this out. Obviously, I could figure out when the ATM is going to end. I mean, it should end in. Let's see, what was the volume?
Assuming they're selling. If you looked at it,
yeah, they're selling.
They've limited themselves to 3.5 million shares, and that would not get them, based on the ATM, it would not get them to $1 billion that they wanted to raise.
Yeah, that's the key verbiage, up to. I mean, we'll see what happens. 4.76 million volume today, similar to yesterday. Yeah, so doing the math. Well, look, we can figure out what they raised. If they're raising capital, it's not that hard.
Right. Hey, what's your take on today in the market? What stocks were you interested in? What do you want to cover today?
Well, we've got a few other tickers here that aren't the average run-of-the-mill tickers. GameStop, in my opinion, has raised $150 million right now, just if you guys are interested. That's just strictly my opinion. It's no fact base. It's just using an estimate based on my opinion, so don't take that as...
It's a good, solid guess.
Yeah. I want to look at U-Time. You ever heard of it?
No, never heard of it.
Well, I wish I heard of it yesterday.
What's
UTME. It went public yesterday. $4. It went public at $4 yesterday. IPO. It's 82.
So before you say anything,
Yeah,
what are the chances that this is a Chinese stock?
it is.
Okay.
Good guess, sir. It was halted at least twice today. U-Time is an IPO yesterday for, well, initial public offering was $4. It didn't open there. They design, develop, produce, sell mobile phones. China-based mobile phone company. 7 million shares. Yeah, this thing went absolutely ballistic today. And here we are at 82 at closing, 72 after hours. Crazy. Really?
Yeah. This is a good time to remind the audience that we're not making a recommendation here. We tell you what we're trading, what we're looking at. We are not long this stock. Maybe Jason is in his own portfolio. A stock that's up 2,175% in 2 days from the IPO.
Right.
So did they cure cancer, Jason?
No, I'm actually trying to figure out what in the world went on here. The company sold 3.75 million shares in the IPO to raise 15 million, but get this. With the stock now trading nearly 23 times the IPO price, the company's current market value is 752 million.
Right.
That's just
So you're just, this is the entertainment part of our show?
Yeah, this is definitely the entertainment part. But had I known about this and we caught a little piece of it, then it would have been a risk-on move for us. But it wasn't. It's just for entertainment.
There is 8.27 million shares outstanding, and the present price is just under a $700 million market cap.
Yeah.
Do you remember a few years ago there was a pretty high-flying stock? It was a lender. It was a big crypto lender. It got crushed the same way.
LMFA.
Yeah. Went public at 6, and crazy.
Yeah, I remember that one. So
we got someone in the super chat talking about how do you pronounce this name? Something Holdings.
I don't know.
HYLN.
Let's take a look. Do you see it, Skyla?
I mean, I see just the ticker
HYLN? Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with that. I didn't really take I just saw it moving up the leaderboard. Ace, what's the ticker again? HYLN. Oh, yeah, let's take a look at that. Somebody wants to ask about it. Let's take a look. And
They're presenting on April 7th today.
It's down 30% year to date. Hypertruck Innovation Council to advance. Okay, it looks like commercial vehicles, commercial EV vehicles. Is that what we're getting at here? Yeah, it looks like that's what it is. And apparently they're doing a presentation.
Oh, whoa. I know this deal. Hold on a second.
You do?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the former, I think, Turquoise Acquisition Corp. It provided electrified powertrain solutions for commercial vehicles. The company focused on reducing carbon intensity greenhouse emission gases by providing electrification powertrains to Class 8 commercial vehicles. The company offers solutions in its battery systems, controlled software. This was a high flyer at one point too.
Yeah, it looks like 170 million shares outstanding, 92 million float, 1.85 billion market cap. We got $9.89 to $58 52-week range here.
Didn't they do something? Didn't they do something very similar to Nikola?
Was this a SPAC?
It was a SPAC. I just said to you, it merged with Turquoise Acquisition Corp. We'll look into this name, Jason. Will you keep an eye on that and write that down?
Yeah, I got it right here. I'll take a look at it. We'll get more intel on it. HYLN.
I know there's a big holder of it. I think Thomas Healy owns 22 or 23% of it. and I've seen this name talked about before. It was a Nikola name at one point.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hey, thanks for the super chat, guys, and asking about HYLN. We'll definitely take a look at it. I recall that this was a pretty high flying, not out of control flying, but pretty high flying SPAC at one point. I wonder when they de-SPAC'd. We have to find that out.
Yeah, it looks like Healy's still there, by the way, CEO.
Oh, is Healy the CEO of the company?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I understand that he had a pretty big position. Was he the original founder?
Yeah, he was the original founder. Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
We should
Okay.
take a look at that. What other tickers do you have on your radar today?
Hey, I wanted to look at one that was kind of interesting. Ticker is AVCT, American Virtual Cloud Technologies. And I want
What's
you
the symbol
to
again?
American.
Say that a little slower.
I'm sorry. It's American Virtual Cloud Technologies. The ticker is A, V as in Victor, C as in Charlie, T as in Tom. And what's interesting about this is the company actually got an offer to buy after hours for $9 a share, unsolicited. And what's interesting about this is let me read a little bit to you about what this company does, and then you'll realize why I was interested in it. American Virtual Cloud Technologies is an integrated information technology solutions and managed service provider. The company specializes in delivering solutions in data center transformation, enterprise networking, cloud services, cybersecurity, managed IT services. The company serves industries such as technology, finance, media, and entertainment. So I just thought that this was kind of interesting, and it's actually closed today at $5.81, and in the after hours it's at $8.39 after it's did receive the unsolicited $9 share takeover bid. Yeah.
So are they similar to SSNT?
I would say yes. I would
Hey,
say
can you see what kind of annual sales they have?
I can look it up. They currently have 19.75 million shares outstanding, 3.6 million float, 114 million market cap. Let's see what I got here for sales. Let's see. Income statement, revenue, 7.61 million in total revenue for fiscal year 2020. And see what else I can find here.
Yeah, they got an American Virtual Cloud Technologies reports they received an unsolicited, non-binding bid for $9 a share.
Yeah. So, yes,
That's an interesting scenario. Because if this has 7 or 8 million in sales, that's over 12 times sales if they got offered at $9, if we're correct, right?
Yeah, I think that was net revenue though, 7.5 million. So
well, total revenue, you mean?
Let me see. Oh yeah, you're right. It's 7.61 total revenue, fiscal year 2020. Absolutely.
Right. So if you look at SSNT, I think it has revenues of close to $45 million plus.
Whoa, wait a minute here. No, I told you wrong. No, Todd, total revenue income statement fiscal year 2020, 87.61 million. Sorry, I missed an 8 there. I need my eyes checked.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, so huge difference. Anyway, I was just looking at that. Cloud services, data center. A lot of different names came to mind that were similar to that.
Yeah, I could see that.
You got to be tired after that fishing expedition.
Oh, my God. I'm flying back home tomorrow. I'll be back in the office on Friday. The all-day fishing thing, I know it sounds funny, like for me, but got up at the crack of dawn, and it's very tiring.
We got about 6 minutes left here in this segment. I wanted to talk a little bit about Uber, UBER. In fact, they are doing their own little stimulus plan to try, as some people know, they might not know, Uber and Lyft have been having trouble getting drivers to go on the road because of the unemployment from the federal government and the state government. A lot of times that the unemployment exceeds what they make, so they're just staying home. So it looks like the CEO announced a $250 million driver stimulus package amid the post-COVID driver shortage. The $250 million.
What are they going to do?
It looks like they're going to use it for sign-on bonuses. They gave several examples where they would receive bonuses in some of these key markets like Austin, Texas, Phoenix, Miami, a lot of these markets where they're short drivers. They're going to be giving them bonuses based on number of trips, initial sign-on bonuses, and I guess it's going to just be like an overall stimulus for the existing drivers to encourage them to work more hours, because a lot of the drivers they're either not driving at all or they're just driving under the hours where they can still get their unemployment and not exceed the earnings that will disallow them from getting the unemployment.
Got it.
Thought that was pretty interesting. Uber, just to give you an idea, year to date, it's up 11.24%, 56.89. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. Wanted to bring that to your attention, the folks watching their attention. Another thing.
That stock is Uber's doing pretty well though.
Yeah, overall.
I mean, the stock has been relatively performing in what was, obviously a post-COVID environment, pretty tough market for them.
I mean, all-time Uber's up 37%. When did it go public? Like maybe 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, I don't remember the IPO. It wasn't 2 or 3 years ago, but I don't remember the IPO price. But it's been doing relatively well. Let's cover NAK here. Are you still? It's only 1 day later since we told people we were buying it. What are you thinking?
Northern Dynasty Minerals. What are we at? Low 60s probably?
62.5.
Yeah. Nothing's changed. We're just waiting on the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers. Today.
When do you expect to hear from them? What's the time frame?
This month. Today was light volume, 8.74 million. Average 3-month daily volume, 40 million. A lot of people just are not selling. They're waiting for the news. I don't think there's a whole lot of shorts here at this price point. There used to be a lot of shorts into this when it was up around $2.50. So yeah, this is a boomer bust pick. We've decided to take risk on, and if we're right about this, we'll look like heroes. The stock. I mean, there's 900 billion worth of minerals in the ground, so it's going to be a huge boom if we are right and the appeal is won, or if the government from Alaska decides to sue the federal government in order to get the minerals out of the ground. So we'll see what happens. We're just going to wait until the EPA makes their decision, the Army Corps of Engineers. And if we're wrong, probably go down to 30 cents. This could actually go to zero.
Oh, we went from yesterday the risk was 30 cents. Now you're changing your risk estimates to zero?
It possibly could go to zero. Sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Just full disclosure.
Well, we bought more of it today at 63 cents. So
actually, while I'm watching, we're watching baseball here, and baseball's going to zero right now. The Seattle Mariners decided that they were going to score 7 runs in the 6th inning, and looks like we're going to zero on that one.
I guess we had the other team.
Yeah, we got the White Sox, and maybe the pitcher was just out hammered last night, drunk, and he just came in and decided to throw some meatballs. Anyway, it's only the 6th inning. We got time left. As far as tickers go, that's really about all I had. I had Riot lined up here. It looks like Riot is getting ready to make a $138 million acquisition in mining hardware, with shipments are all scheduled all the way through October 2022. Now, I wonder why anybody else can't get miners. There's 42,000 units from Bitmain, the S19Js. They are 100 terahash, 90 terahash. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah, that name has pulled back pretty hard. It's in 49.10 today, and I've been noticing Bitcoin soft. But do you think it's just kind of coiling up and consolidating? Do you
Yeah.
have anything to add about Bitcoin and Riot at all?
Yeah, I've noticed that it's a lot of the Bitcoin tickers were actually off today because Bitcoin went to 56. Clean Spark went down into the low 20s. Riot actually high 40s. What did just curious, what did Mara do? Let's take a look here. Yeah, Mara's off 12%. Yeah, it was pretty much in line. Everything was down. Yep.
It was kind of a negative Bitcoin day. Riot, I see it down 9.24% in the aftermarket. I mean, in the full market.
Right.
Got pretty hit. What was the story with QuantumScape? For full disclosure, we're long QuantumScape. We are not long Riot. We are not long Mara. We are not long anything but Clean Spark. We sold our SOS yesterday at over $6. But what's the story with QuantumScape that you saw today?
Nothing really. There was a couple of articles saying that QuantumScape was overvalued, even after like Volkswagen gave them the extra 100 million tranche. $47.39 after hours. It's down to $46.92. I'd actually looked for a good entry or a good add-on around 47. So nothing's changed. In fact, there was now this is something I saw online. It could be true. It might not be true. But it appears that some possible information leaked from Biden's infrastructure plan that would call for $100 billion for new consumer electric vehicle rebates directly to the consumers. $100 billion. So that's pretty interesting. That ties into QuantumScape, obviously. QuantumScape's looking to provide solid state lithium batteries that are have more range, more efficient, quicker charge times, stuff of that nature, versus the liquid lithium batteries. So that's what they're working on. Volkswagen believes in them.
Hey, we're in segment number 3 now, and I want to remind everyone, we'll be on KEIB 1150 AM, Los Angeles and Orange County this Sunday at 1 p.m. We're also on the iHeartRadio app on the Patriot Network at the same time. So if you have the iHeartRadio app, you can pick us up anytime. You don't have to delay. You can listen to us all over the world if you want to hear our Friday broadcast. Don't forget about YouTube, by the way. We do have a wrap-up show where we take the best of all 5 days. Tyler, one of our editors, does a great job of preparing that, and that show seems to be the most popular show we have.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of views. We really appreciate that. I know they do a great job.
What's segment number 3? I apologize. I ran right off the boat. I got into a golf cart. They drove me right here. So unfortunately, I didn't see Josh's publishing of the segments for today.
Well, one more thing before we go into 3. I just want to real quick. Coinbase came out and reported $1.8 billion in total Q1 2021 revenue. So I just wanted to mention that their IPO is coming up this month. As far as the next segment, we were going to get into a little bit of economic news, a little bit of geopolitical news, and a little bit of stats regarding the economy. That's basically what we were going to cover. Also, I want to touch on Tiger Woods. There's an accident investigation for him. We'll get into that afterwards. But the first thing
I do want to cover and thank Base Flyer, BASE Flyer, for doing that $5 super chat and asking the question. And Jason and I will follow up tomorrow on HYLN. And when we get a super chat, we put it on our radar. I actually put it on my stocks to follow. That way, if I have any commentary, I'll follow up with you on that. So you can expect us to follow HYLN for you, and we'll give you our commentary if we see something. Appreciate you guys in the chat. And we'll be returning to normal next week. Skyla, the young Skywalker, the Padawan learner, I'm just kidding around, by the way. She will be joining us on Monday the 12th and be on the show. Hey, Jason, any update on the studio?
You know, I didn't go in the studio. I'm being told that it's about two weeks out. Is that right? Okay, they're hanging the wall tomorrow, and I think we're about 2 weeks away from occupying the new studio.
Seems like a standard answer we hear kind of all the time, right? Everything's about 2 weeks. Someone told me that the average human being can handle 10 days. So when you tell someone something and you want to give them hope, even though if it's going to be 2.5 weeks, you always say, we're looking at about 10 days.
Yeah.
And people can accept 10 days. Beyond 10 days, they kind of get into a little bit of a funk. But what can you do about it, right?
What about when like Wimpy said he would kindly pay Tuesday for a hamburger today? How many days do you think that was?
My problem is I'm a cheeseburger guy, so I'm not going to get a hamburger and pay on Tuesday. I'd rather pay on Monday and get a cheeseburger. But I know that's not very funny, but I don't like hamburgers. Anyways, what's up in politics, Jason?
Hey, so the infrastructure bill, Biden said he's willing to negotiate on the corporate tax rate as far as the increase. The 28% proposal met a lot of, it looks like Manchin and Kristen Sinema and some of the other moderate Democrats kind of were concerned about the 28% proposed corporate tax rate, thought it was too high. And so Biden said he was open to negotiation on that, which is interesting. There's also some things going on with a lot of people wanting to put pork into the bill. I noticed some stuff on Twitter. You can look for yourselves, where people were trying to tie things to the bill that had nothing to do with infrastructure. And I noticed some rebuttals from like Senator Ted Cruz and a couple of people from the other side that were just kind of making fun of what they were asking, which was pretty crazy. They wanted to tie like all kinds of social health programs, like daycare, child care, like all this stuff into infrastructure. So I don't know. It was kind of a battle back and forth on Twitter. Once in a while I get on Twitter. I think it's a cesspool, but sometimes I see some stuff on there. That's just my personal opinion. I don't have a Twitter account. I don't really have any social media accounts. So anyway, that's what's going on with infrastructure. It looks like if they want the deal done, they're going to have to actually negotiate, at least within the Democratic Party, because they can do a 51 majority vote on infrastructure because Chuck Schumer was able to get the parliamentary exception so they can do reconciliation. So they were not going to require the 60 vote that was status quo, but they still have Democrats that they have to sell the program on. So that's where we're at with infrastructure.
Got it. Interesting.
Yeah.
Any other political news before you want to cover before we move on?
I just wanted to, there's kind of a thing going on near Taiwan in the Strait of Taiwan Strait with our USS John McCain sailing through there. Apparently, China sent 15 warplanes through there as well. So it's kind of a cat and mouse game. I don't really like to see that. We were used to not having wars for the last 4 years, and I really don't want to go to war with China. So that kind of concerned me a little bit. That was on the American. That was actually, the source was the AmericanMilitaryNews.com. If you want to check that out, AmericanMilitaryNews.com.
So there's problems there. I mean, there've been problems there forever, have there not?
Yeah, well, for the last 4 years, there weren't a lot of things that were going on as far as escalation. There's always been problems there with Hong Kong, Taiwan, freedom. You know, people that don't really accept communism. They want more of a democracy. So, there's always going to be a battle there. But the escalation is a problem, in my opinion.
Got it.
Got
it. Well, I can officially say I'm looking forward to getting back to Las Vegas and getting off this quasi vacation I have. I've been here about a week as of tomorrow, and I'm headed back. But I love Costa Rica. But I want to end the segment when you're ready. I want to talk about trading platforms. And when you're ready, though, if you have anything else you want to cover on the political side, I'd love to talk about trading platforms.
Not really. A couple other things I want to touch on. Purchase home mortgage applications for the week ending April 2nd. We're down 5% week over week. Crude oil inventory. Crude barrels were in demand over 3.5 million more barrels than the week before. However, gasoline, there was a 4 million barrel surplus versus the week before. I think that's interesting information. You can find that information on econoday.com. where it'll set you up with the weekly reports. You'll know that what's coming out so you can cater those reports to your trading strategies. For example, tomorrow, every Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, you can look at the jobless claim numbers. That usually has a little bit of impact on the overall markets. So just keep that in mind. There's always macroeconomic reports and numbers in play. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Got it. I
Todd-
got to step off because I'm going to lose charge here. I'll be back in the next segment in about less than a minute, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to step off, Jason, real quickly. Jason, next up, I'd really like to ask the question about what trading platforms everyone's are using. We're having our own issues with some of these trading platforms, and I want to hear about some of the new ones that are out there. I'll be right back. Jason, also, too, we got the status of the update of the winners for our bracket contest for Gonzaga. I didn't even see us discuss the fact that Gonzaga got whipped.
Yeah, Baylor put it to him. Actually, we spoke about that today. Josh has the winner. It was the winner actually swept. He won the Sweet 16 and the Final Four and the championship also. Yeah, Josh will cover that. Actually, I don't know if he's on now, but we do.
I'll be right back.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
Josh, if you're on, you can announce the winner if you want.
Yeah, we had Jeff Bombshell, who is a regular in the chats, join in, and he made his votes on the bracket, and he was the winner. So really excited to get back with him and get him his winning.
That sounds good. I'll let you handle that. As far as the final game went, my goodness, Baylor was shooting lights out. I mean, I watched that game, and they didn't miss from three-point land, and their defense was really, really aggressive. And the pace of play was really fast. I just don't think Gonzaga matched their athleticism very well. They got beat on the boards. Gonzaga never really faced a team like that all year, in my opinion. So, yeah, congratulations to the Baylor Bears, their first national championship for the program. And, Gonzaga's there, it seems like every year now. Coach Mark Few does a great job. What was once considered a mid-major program is now basically a national powerhouse. And once was considered Mark Few would look for a bigger, brighter job at a bigger conference. I don't think he's going anywhere. He's built a monster program there. So you can look for them to compete for the national championship every year. So good run for Gonzaga. Congratulations to them as well.
Is that actually true that Baylor's never won?
Yeah.
Wow. Not that you'd make it up or anything. That's not what I was inferring, but I was like, I didn't know that.
For basketball, that's correct.
What did you make of them whipping them, though?
I didn't bet the game, but I had a feeling that they would probably have an athletic advantage. And when you make the number of three-pointers that they made, it's really hard to overcome that if you're the other team and you're getting beat on the boards also. They controlled the game from start to finish.
Hey, I'd like to ask the audience, if you don't mind, what platforms they're using to trade, and if anyone's using Charles Schwab or some of the other platforms like Webull, if you could give us your commentary on how you feel about them, how you use them, and why you're using them. I'd love to hear about it in the chats, or you can reach out to me directly, DM me on Instagram. It's Todd Ault on Instagram, TODAULT. Obviously, Jason and I manage what we consider to be a lot of money, and we're looking for different platforms out there that possibly offer services like more expanded hours of trading. We currently use E-Trade, which only opens at 7 a.m. Eastern versus IB, Interactive Brokers. And none of them seem to have all the best features. We're also looking for some algorithmic trading. So those of you out there that are using a platform that has algorithms, we'd love to kind of chat about that and see what happens. Jason, if we could make sure that Josh and I follow up with this, I'd love to examine some of the platforms. Maybe we could rate them ourselves.
Yeah, that'd be great. I know personally I use Webull and I use TD. TD is the same trading hours as E-Trade. Webull has the full range of hours, kind of like Interactive Broker. Webull also has crypto trading. Webull has pretty easy to use option trading as well. Not as easy as Robinhood, but Webull is a good overall option, and I think a lot of people are moving to that.
But TD Ameritrade has on Thinkorswim futures trading, e-mini contracts and stuff like that.
Yep.
And that's something that I would like to explore in terms of what our audience thinks is the best out there.
Yeah, we'll get some feedback on the chat, and we'll have Skyla gather up that intel, and then we'll go from there.
Before we transition for tomorrow about stocks, is there anything on the radar for tomorrow you want to talk about before we transition to risk on gaming?
Not really. I want to see what happens to Bitcoin overnight. If it tests 55, will it hold 55? I'm looking for the gun ticker names tomorrow, possibly. Let's see what happens there. Obviously POWW, but as far as other tickers, look at like VSTO I want to watch, and RGR, some of the large cap SWBI, just to see what the reaction is after the President Biden comes out with his executive action. One of
my 13D names pulled back today, SSNT, that was down.
I did see that. There was a couple of other ones that fared pretty well though.
This is what I was talking about. There seems to be a little bit of a lull, and the market continues to kind of creep up. But my concern is that it's going to creep down in May, that it's really kind of a false positive right now. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm still there. I still think it's a blah market. What's your thoughts?
It is, but yeah, usually it does creep up in May. One thing to consider with the extension of the tax filing to, I guess, May 17th, that's an extra 30 days for people to digest that and write their checks if they have to, unless you're a quarterly filer, obviously. But yeah, that's just something a little bit different.
You think them holding on their money a little longer is propping up the market? Seems hard to believe.
No, not at all. But it's just something a little bit different. I mean, with retail traders, retail traders are usually going to file right away. They want to get their return. Generally speaking, I think most retail traders would be earning a refund depending on their withholdings. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting with the infrastructure bill in limbo. You've got the possibility of increased corporate taxes. How that all be digested? Will they pass an infrastructure bill? Will it be smaller than what he wants? What will the corporate tax rate be? All of that stuff is in limbo right now. So that does have an effect on the market.
So right now, what's your favorite stock, Jason? I know this is an entertainment show and we're not giving advice, but if you were putting money to work, what's your favorite stock right now? You're on the spot, by the way.
Oh, if I wanted to it just depends on the risk. High risk would be NAK for high, like ultimate risk. Moderate risk for like a long swing trade would be like AUMN, Golden Minerals. A solid like blue chip right now. That's a good question. Maybe like General Motors, kind of like General Motors.
So for full disclosure, I'm long about $1 million worth of Icon Enterprises, IEP, massive dividend. Jason, could you look up IEP's dividend while I'm talking about it? Pretty big dividend. They just announced they're going to have a new CEO coming over from GE, General Electric. Carl Icahn hired him. I think the CEO and CFO did not make the move to Miami like Carl did when he moved his company from New York to Miami. And I'm a big fan of Brett Icahn, his son that's working there now and back in the game with his dad. He's a very smart kid. Well, he's not a kid anymore. He's a very smart man. He's 40 years old. I think he's the future of the company. And I like that stock a lot. I like Icon Enterprises. I like that dividend, that fat dividend that pays out to Carl Icahn, and you can participate. Jason, what's that dividend right now?
Hey, did you buy before March 26? It's a 14% dividend. It looks like it's a $2 dividend. Yeah.
Big dividend. Yeah, big dividend.
The ex-dividend date was March 25th. Are we going to get it this next quarter or no? I think we're after that, right?
No, we bought it before then.
We did
it all month.
Oh, sweet. $2 a share.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, that's really good. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the company and that big dividend. Hey, check out though. Talk to your tax advisor. It is an MLP. It's publicly traded, so you got to be careful there and make sure you understand you're going to be getting a K1.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Jason, we're in our last segment here, and last night I got the privilege of texting you all night when we talked about the White Sox and some of the bets you're making. Could you talk about how it's possible to lose your total games but still be a winner in baseball? I noticed that you are up big in baseball, but you told me your percentage would be around 58. You're pretty much right there, but yet you're up big on your bankroll. Can you talk about how that's working?
Well, here's the thing with baseball versus all the other sports. It's a money line bet. I don't know if how far advanced people are that are listening to the show, but let me give you just a little brief summary. So like with football or basketball or something like that, you're going to usually bet $110 to win $100. It's just a 10% VIG, they call it, or the house percentage or the house profits. So that's generally what's going to happen. So when you bet like the Pittsburgh Steelers and they're giving 7 points to the Las Vegas Raiders, for example, you'll bet $110 to win $100, but the Steelers have to win by at least 7.5 points in order to cover that spread. Well, in baseball, it's totally different. Baseball, the actual sports books give you a money line bet. So, matter of fact, I'm glad you brought this up because this is pretty good information. All right. Give me 1 second, Nick. Okay, let's go to MLB. 1 second, we're almost there. Let me make it easy here. Okay, Nick, pull this screen up real quick. I'm going to give you guys an example. Okay, what you're looking at here is a pricing engine on SBR. It's actually SBRodds.com. What this is it's a live pricing engine, and this specific pricing engine caters more to the offshore sports books, those that are located, in Costa Rica, Todd, Panama, some other places. But if you look at, for tomorrow, for example, the Chicago Cubs are going up against the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the opening line is Jake Arrieta, and the Cubs are favored, minus 142. So what that means is you would have to bet $142 to win $100. Now, if we take Tim Anderson and the Pittsburgh Pirates, we could bet $100, and if the Pirates pull it out, we win $132. That's what's known as a money line. And how you make one way you can approach baseball is you can look for underdogs. In baseball, the teams are very even. And what happens is, if a team wins 100 games in a year out of 162, that's a phenomenal season. It's only a 6.25 winning percentage. But what the thing is with baseball is it comes down to pitching, bullpens, and timely hitting. And when you look at a game like this Pittsburgh Pirates and Chicago Cubs, we have to look at the value of this pitcher. Is he worth this value, this underdog? So you have to go and you look through these. You can take that off now, Brett. So you have to look at these money lines and use your analysis, your analytics, all of your resources online to determine how many times out of 100 will the Pittsburgh Pirates likely beat the Chicago Cubs. And then you have to cross-reference that to the money line and see if that makes sense based on your analytics, your abilities, all the resources and knowledge that you've gained. So baseball is it's very in-depth as far as the analysis goes. You can't just throw a dart and say, the Yankees are going to win, because what happens is the sports books will handicap you with a powerful team like the Yankees. They might have their best pitcher going, like last night, Garrett Cole, and they might charge you $300 to win $100. So if you bet that way every single time, it's virtually impossible to be profitable, because if you bet $300 to win $100, if their opponent only beats them, if they beat them one time, the next bet you have, you're going to lose money. So to take these favorites, and a lot of these sports consultants, they like to provide these favorites because they look like a lock win, but it's risk management. You don't really want to bet, $300 or $400 to win $100. You're looking to find value in the underdogs, kind of like the stock market. You're looking to find undervalued assets in the stock market. Something like a POW, something, like a AUMN, where there's some information that people don't really know about. It's not baked into the price yet. So, yeah, that's the assessment with baseball. We could talk a lot about this. And as I am watching baseball now, the Dodgers just lost to the Oakland A's in extra innings. The Dodgers were a 150 favorite. If you bet 150, you win 100. So if you bet the Oakland A's today, you actually made really good money. So baseball is
Hey, programming note for tomorrow, Jason. We're going to be launching the show tomorrow at 2 o'clock. As I'm flying back from Costa Rica, we're going to launch at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Programming today was 3:30. And on Friday, we're going to resume our normal hours. I'll be back in Vegas in the studio with Jason. And come Monday, we're going to be starting right there at 1:05 every day with Skyla now on the radio with us and on the show on Risk On. So we're pretty excited about it. We'll be talking about ETFs next week. That'll be an important factor to talk about. We'll be looking at rebalancing some of our own portfolio and new names we're talking about. We're going to cover the Coinbase IPO, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, what do you got on for tomorrow, Friday? Anything you want to talk about before we get into the last 5 minutes?
Real quick, keeping in line with Risk on Sports, our year to date is 17 wins, 14 losses. Those are on the straight bets. On the parlay bets, where you would bet two or more teams and you would get odds, which what that means is you would get a multiplier based on the bets. If you win all the bets, you would be paid a greater odds. We're actually 4 wins, 7 losses on that. That's kind of hard to win those parlays, but they can be a bankroll booster. We'll get into more of that when we have the show starting April 12th. But we're plus 1,063 on the year. It's 6 days old. We started with $1,200, so our return is around 90%. As far as tomorrow, I'm just going to be looking at the crypto stuff. I'm going to be looking at the self-defense tickers and a couple of biotechs. But that's what I got going on.
Jason, what I love about what you're doing with Risk on Sports, you started with that $1,200 bankroll, kind of proving to people how you can grind out a return in 6 days.
Yeah.
And on the parlays, we actually have more losses than wins, but we made more money.
Correct.
And on the regular straight bets, we have more wins than losses. I'm really loving this a lot. I'm going to learn a lot from you on it. I find it fascinating how some of those parlays pay off. I can see why people kind of have a side hustle doing this. It's going to be a good time. Thanks a lot, Jason, by the way, for the video with Steve Stevens covering your buddy Vegas Dave. Wow. I didn't know you could do that on YouTube.
That was, and get monetized.
Yeah, I didn't know it was possible to use those kind of words and still be on YouTube.
I think Steve Stevens actually...
Got him!
Yeah, Vegas Dave was torched on that one.
Yeah, I once again didn't know you could use those kind of words on YouTube.
So anybody that wants to look at that video, you can search VIP Sports, Steve Stevens. He talks about the industry. He talks about consultants who claim to do certain things, but they don't document it. Risk on Sports will have full audit. We'll have all of our picks documented. You'll be able to see every pick, which is a lot different. There'll be full transparency here.
Yeah, one of the things we're doing different is we are having full transparency. Every ticket will be audited every single month. You'll be able to see those tickets published and know exactly what we're doing. There's no hiding anything here. You'll be able to see the wins, the good, the bad, the ugly, the whole thing. Hey, we're coming up on 2 minutes, Josh. Anything we need to cover before we wrap up today?
Nope. Not from my end.
Okay, everyone, we appreciate your time. Don't forget about tomorrow, 2 o'clock. I'll be flying back to from Costa Rica to America. My whole family took a COVID test yesterday.
Oh,
That was fun. I enjoyed that delightful poke up the nose, and they still do it the old manual way here. Everyone was COVID free, so we're headed back to California and then Nevada. On Friday, the show will resume normally, and we appreciate everyone watching. Jason, what do we got to cover in this last minute, my friend?
not a whole lot, actually. We're actually going to end the show 30 seconds early. I don't really have anything else.
Early?
Yeah.
It's never early. Never early. Don't forget to watch us this Sunday. Watch us. I mean, listen to us on the iHeartRadio app, the Patriot Network, 1 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be looking for that gunbroker.com. Hopefully the POWW announces that they've acquired the company. They're teasing us here. maybe Jason, you thought today was going to be the day, huh?
I don't know. It wasn't today. They might halt the stock if they do it. I'm just being honest.
Got it.
Yeah. So
All right, everybody. Listen, it was fun doing this from Costa Rica. I'm not as excited about it as I thought I would be. I thought it would be easier. It's not easier. These foreign countries do not have the same internet access and capabilities. Some of them probably do. I actually had a great time here in Los Sueños. I recommend it to everyone. I recommend for sure deep sea fishing. That was amazing watching my daughter Asia catch the biggest sailfish. And you guys take care. Enzo caught the giant tuna. We're going to have tuna tonight for dinner.
nice.
Everyone take care. For Risk On, for Jason and the team. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much. 2 o'clock tomorrow.